Okay, so this is my trench, right? Now we're gonna start off first, going from the back to the front. And first of all, we have Big Bertha. This is a 14 by 12 howitzer. It was popularly called Big Bertha. It was a siege howitzer used between the 1914s and 1918s. This humongous structure could shoot 8 shells per hour, and it weighed 93,900 pounds. The maximum shooting distance was 30,500 feet. Now we go to the small boys over here. And these are the BL 8-inch howitzers. The BL 8-inch howitzers was a series of howitzers used by the British. They were introduced in the beginning of the war, and this weighed 5 kilograms. The max range was 9,600 meters. The shells weighed 200 pounds. Okay, Lance, get in your plane. Okay, now we're gonna focus on the planes, and the first one up is called the Bristol F2B. Now, this is a British 2-seat biplane, and the second seat was used for the gunner or the observer and the pilot. It was used from the 1916s when the war broke out until 1932, and the top speed was 123 miles per hour, and the engine had 190 horsepower. Now we go to the German plane. Now this was a 1-seat triplane. It was German, of course, and it was built to compete with the British Sopwith triplane. It is also famous for being flown by the Red Baron. It also has the same top speed of the Bristol at 123 miles per hour. And only 300 are built, and there is none of these left in the country or in the world. Oh, and this is called the Fokker DR1. Now we go to the tanks, which is like right here. This tank was pretty hefty. This traveled at a very, very, very fast pace of 3 miles per hour. The tank was manned by a team of 8, the commander, the driver, the 2 gearsmen, and 4 gunners. The thickness of the armor was about 6 to 12 millimeters, so you had a lot of armor when you're inside of it. Now, first of all, and this is the tank, since a lot of early models like to get stuck in the trenches. And then here's Mr. Meow Meow the second. I'm just giving him a special mention. Now we go to the front line trench. The front line trench was usually 7 feet deep. That's why it's about 3, because an average man is about 6 foot. That's just 1 block higher. That's about 7 feet right there. It was not possible to see over the top, so you could not look over, of course, as you see, which is why they added these. A 2 to 3 foot ledge, which is called a fire step. And the front line was protected by barbed wire machine gun posts. We have the barbed wire right here, and they are also protected by the sandbags, which are these sandstone right here, which if any bullets came in contact, it would stop it. And then these machine gun posts, and then we have armor over here to regulate how the soldiers died, and how it just shows how the soldiers died in the front line trench. Now we go to the machine gun, the pillboxes. The term pillbox was first used by the British because the concrete shape looked like a pill. Who would know? These became very prominent in the beginning. The guns weighed 30 kilograms to 60 kilograms. Each gun fired 400 to 600 caliber rounds per minute. The communication trenches right here. We have the phones. Yep. They were used to transport men, equipment, food supplies. The French used tramways, and the British relied on soldiers to carry supplies. These included water, food, ammo, bombs. And these trenches were also used to transport wounded men. And inside we have an armory, so you could actually get armor. Support trench. These are right here. These positions were relatively used to provide any defense or support, as in the name, to the front line. These house sleeping quarters to deploy more troops to help the front line. And we have infirmary, in case anybody needs to be transported to the infirmary. Now the reserve trench, it's all the way in the back over here. This was used to provide any backup if in the case both two front trenches had been taken, which is like very, very unlikely. This trench contained more supplies, cooks, medics, and recruits. Is all provided the last line of defense. Now these could provide sleeping quarters, but sleeping quarters I put were right here. We have bunk beds, which weren't difficult to make. And that is my video. That's my trench. First of all, I want to make a special tribute So Meow Meow, who died in the making of this trend because he walked into the fire and he burned to death, which is why you have a tribute. Yeah, so sad. We should pay X. This is why this is Mr. Meow Meow the second, because the cat died because he walked inside the fire. R.I.P. Mr. Meow Meow 2019. Mr. Meow Meow R.I.P. Alright, Lance, give him a good goodbye with a her. Your mic cut out, pay it again. Okay, that's good.